We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. What is wrong with the market? Not market prices, the people in the market. Everybody feels like everyone's miserable. It does. Now let's talk about what happens every time the market goes down in crypto. Everybody has an experience where they relive FTX or some sort of decline where they got hurt in. The market can't go down more than 2 days without some sort of like despair kicking in. Now, that's understandable. That's human nature, but that's very reminiscent of equities post-global financial crisis, right? 2008 to 2011, every time there was a major market correction, 10%, 15%, everyone thought it was going to zero, right? And that was never the case. If anything, back then, every time the market went down, it was a huge buying opportunity. It was a generational buying opportunity in the Magnificent Seven. It was, right? That's, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Tesla, on and NVIDIA, on and on and on. So every time the market goes down, you get upset and then you wake up and go, oh, look, it's a massive generational opportunity because in many cases, the bull market hasn't started. And then there's the additional pain of Fartcoin. Fartcoin is now getting publicity from every stock market analyst, every talk show host. Everybody you can think of is now going, oh my God, Fartcoin is at $1 billion. How absurd is crypto? And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is starting to remind me of Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2017, where everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God, this is a bubble. And then it just accelerated massively. Now, I don't know that I need to do a price prediction on Fartcoin, but Fartcoin may be one of the few big memes that hasn't been taken by whales and hedge funds, pulled onto a centralized exchange, and then dumped on retail. So I'm looking at this thing this morning on MEXC, and, it's getting a little toppy Lux Algo wise, but I think it's just adding to everyone's pain, and it's adding to this like massive distraction that doesn't feel appropriate. It doesn't feel appropriate. In other words, if you look, because I have like a meme. It's slightly off color, but it's true. Like yesterday, Bitcoin at 102K is the end of the world. Oh my God. This morning, everyone's like, oh, thank God it's back at 102K. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like people's heads are completely screwed up. And that's what bull markets do, right? Bull markets go up because everyone misses it. And bull markets are constantly giving you an opportunity to get off the train, to quit, to get chopped out. Sometimes you get stopped out, but you can't help that, right? And then, or discourage people on re-entering. And it's happening. And the longer this like grinding, wind it up, oh my God, period lasts, the bigger it's going to be when it finally goes. Because Jerome Powell yesterday, predictably, goes, hey, everybody, we're cutting rates. We're not in a recession. We're not happy with the price of eggs. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. We're out of here. That's it. Done. And of course, algos read, I don't know, any comment that didn't say, you know what, we'll have rates at 0 by June of next year as negative. So everyone panics in stocks. Everyone panics in crypto. And none of that was necessary, right? The truth of the matter is rates are too high. They're just too high. He knows that. They're going to leave rates where they are because they don't have to do anything. They want to make sure they save enough powder in case they have to do something. because of the $36 trillion debt issue that's out there, right? You know, in some cases, money supply is falling, but the new administration is going to be stimulative. So we can end where we began. Powell's like, I cut rates. I'm done. We'll see you next year. Classic legacy. And everyone lost their mind. And of course, this fits with this thing that I always say, that the first trade is always wrong. Algos read headlines. Everyone sells. Levered people get liquidated. And then we wake up the next day and we go, okay, what's the problem? You know, the Fed removing itself from the picture is actually giga bullish. You know, leave rates at 4 something, 3 something, and just let the market trade. Right. And then if something happens, they can come in. But perhaps yesterday was the end of an era where we all sit around and go, this is the biggest FOMC meeting of our lifetime. FOMC meetings, it's like get rates to where it's like 3 to 4% inflation and 3 to 4% rates, even though I still think rates are too high and rates are going to come down dramatically when the Doge guys hit Washington. But even if that doesn't happen, government, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's bullish. Oh my God, it's bearish. Oh my God, they can't own Bitcoin. Of course they can't own Bitcoin. They have no infrastructure to own Bitcoin, right? They have, but they can buy the Bitcoin ETF because they've been buying mortgage-backed securities and stock futures for years. So again, everyone gets upset. That's the key. Everyone gets upset. And then Powell leaves, goes on vacation, buys on Coinbase on the way home. Meanwhile, everyone is left sitting here going, well, I guess we're done for the year. Everyone starts wrapping a narrative around the price action. And the narrative you need to wrap around the price action is that they're going to build Web3. They have to build Web3. They will build Web3. They're doing it now, right? Starting by goosing Bitcoin. You know, the orange man goes out and gets a Goodfellas haircut, and everyone thinks they're kidding. They're not kidding. And I know I've said this, but we're gonna go into the details after we welcome who's here, right? After we welcome who's here. Okay. So we have Diogo is here. Andy Thomas, your base hurts. What's going on? Pacific time. Yav, right? Arendam, Cryptonautic, Kane, Lee. Welcome to the show, right? Let's see. Crypto Scam, Stefan, Dara, welcome. Liking the videos. I'm glad to hear that. Seth, Lee, having coffee. Miguel, Sarah, hello. Bruno, Drake, Jesus. What's going on? Warmon, Zach, Shaquille, Gavin, Thin Bazaar, Jay. Got a lot of new names here. SG, the original. Adrian, your base hurts. Old Smoky. Wow, we got a lot of names here. Cryptex. Everyone's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is what you're going to do. You're going to hit the green button because the green button will make you free. For real. Okay. Let's rock the news. Powell signals Fed's focus has returned firmly to inflation. Powell says his inflation forecast has kind of fallen apart. Okay, so food inflation is back. We can't say why. We don't know what causes that. Price gouging, higher wages at food companies. We don't know. You want to know what the Fed can do about food inflation? Nothing. Okay. Most likely, the orange man comes in office, makes a phone call to all the major food manufacturers, right? And next thing you know, you're getting 30% more for 25% less the day after the inauguration at Walmart. Some Fed governors are upset about inflation. Some guys are dissenting. Look, as I've said, the Fed has been operating all year on a hot labor market that wasn't hot. Notice I don't see any headlines about that. Let's change the subject to inflation. Let's change the subject so I can get out of here for the holidays, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they could fire me, they could not fire me. Let me just do something down the middle and go home. And everybody in crypto is upset about it. Everybody is upset. Meanwhile, all right, this is fairly serious, right? So, the white line is like some sort of proxy for money supply. So money supply is collapsing. Now, this graph is done on a lag. So, Bitcoin follows money, right? You print money, Bitcoin goes up. Everyone forgets that. Now, is Bitcoin detaching from this? Probably. But this is a sign that rates are just too high. Rates are too high. Demand for money is falling out of bed worldwide. So rates are too high and everyone's hysterical. This is the graph that you should be looking at. Now, if they leave rates too high or if rates go up, okay, that would be bad for crypto. But rates are still too high. Okay. Fed chairman says we're not allowed to own Bitcoin. Yeah, you're not, but you can buy the Bitcoin ETF and you're going to do what Congress and, everyone wants you to do, or you're not going to have a job. So again, there will be pushback to the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, obviously. And it's also obviously that, what was Jerome Powell going to do? Come out with an orange suit, right? And a Michael Saylor goatee and go, yeah, man, we're waving it in. It's not the government's job to pump your bags. It isn't. But, when they say they need to goose Bitcoin, they're going to goose Bitcoin because they need to goose the ecosystem. They need this to turn into an industry, but that's not his job. That's not his job. Okay, so people in England are trying to delay elections as their approval rating collapses. Notice, you hit the green button and all of a sudden, this guy, they have problems. Just go right on hitting the green button, folks. Just go right on hitting it. I live in Texas. Texas economy will top France's thanks to the orange man, according to the Texas governor. So the Texas governor is talking his book, but how long does it take before checks from Elon Musk and the green button affect some sort of positive political shift in Europe? Yes, you are hearing this correctly. I'm being positive about Europe. Because all we have to do is continue to hit the green button. That's it. Okay. Bad guys in Eastern Europe say, you know what? I would be happy to talk at any time. All of this posturing and all of this pain can just literally go away in a day. Again, reference what happened to Trudeau. Right? Even if Trudeau stays in power, he's not going to get anything done. It's over for him with a tweet. So if we start shaking hands, we start making deals, we start doing things, again, you think these guys are kidding? They're absolutely not kidding. Now, Peter Schiff is at it again. This is the guy that hates Bitcoin. World Central Bank are starting inflation again. I don't know, dude. Money supply is falling, but let's, for the moment, assume you're correct. Because, it's all hot in legacy that there's going to be another round of inflation. Tariffs could make prices of goods go up. Look, I say this every day, and it's okay to say it every day if you ask me. Gold's going to go up. Bitcoin's going to go up because we need gold to go up because it's a central bank reserve asset and it's a way of lowering the value of the dollar because clearly if you look at what's going on in DXY, they can't lower the value of the dollar in the fiat foreign exchange market. And frankly, that's bad. That's bad, right? If everybody wants to own the dollar, everyone's freaking out and everyone's scared. So if they can't lower the value of the dollar in the fiat foreign exchange market, they have to do it versus gold. Now, of course, because everybody has to get attention on Twitter and everybody has to have a headline and everybody has to have a tweet of the day, or Peter Schiff's PR agency is like doing a deal with all these media companies to make sure there's an article about him every day while Bitcoin goes to 120, whatever. At the end of the day, gold and Bitcoin going higher is literally in everyone's interest. Everyone's. Web3 has to get pumped up. Dollar has to go lower. Central banks have to be encouraged to buy it. States have to be encouraged to buy it. Everybody in America and everybody in the world needs to think about different forms of money. Like literally everybody wins. The only people who don't win are, I don't know, grouchy Bitcoin bears that, want to keep everything the way it is and sit in a 4% treasury bill. Okay, who is that? That's Warren Buffett. And what about the other 5 billion people on the planet? What are they supposed to do? So again, listening to all of this like hyper FUD, especially if it's coming from gold guys, doesn't make any sense. Morgan Stanley now expects the Fed to deliver 2 more small rate cuts in 2025. You know what? That's probably about right. The Bank of England left rates unchanged again. 6-3 vote and keeping it unchanged. You know what? That's great. That's terrific. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Right? The yen sank because, the Bank of Japan says we're not going to raise rates. Of course you're not going to raise rates, bro. The Orange Man's going to get on the phone and say, what are you going to do? You're going to trade another crisis? It's not happening. A stopgap funding bill, right, collapsed following opposition from, look, the Orange Man and Elon Musk. Do you think you're going to get anything done in the world without these two guys approving? I don't think so. Honestly, I don't. They want the governments in Europe out. If they're going to write checks, they're going to be out. 1 check to the opposition, 1 tariff, done. It's already happened. You may not like it, but that's what's going to happen. Right? No giveaways. Right? Temporary funding bill without the giveaways. Guess what? It's going to happen. This is unbelievable. Extremely bullish on Jerome Powell and the Fed here. The markets will make new highs today. Again, they do this on purpose, right? We all knew Powell was going to come out. Powell was going to say nothing. And then everyone was going to freak out and sell because, the equity market is just, they're so hyped up on vapors and rate cuts that, they're so adamant about ignoring all the negative factors that no one wants to own that asset anymore. That's like, okay, well, you know what? We got to keep it going up. So we got to cut rates to 0. Anything other than cutting rates to 0, we sell. Because again, someone needs to save them, or so they think. No one needs to save them. No one saved us in August. No one. So now, this is probably one of the best macro people out there. And amidst the sea of red ink in market today, there remains one shining star, Fartcoin, the safe haven asset of the future. So memes are about attention, and 622,000 people just found out about Fartcoin. And how much did Fartcoin pay for that? Nothing. Matter of fact, Fartcoin is from a machine. So it's like free marketing. And this is everywhere. It's like talk shows, every macro guy in the whole world. Like a guy I know put a slideshow together of all the macro heads in Legacy and the guys in suits freaking out about this. Look, it's the only meme that has not yet been dumped on retail through a centralized exchange. So if it's going up, it's going up. Now, what I will say about this is that speculative assets lead the market. They lead the market. They led Bitcoin. You had memes, and then you had 100K Bitcoin. And Fartcoin may be offensive to some people, but it's not offensive to me because it's a speculative asset. And if there's a bid for a speculative asset, when everyone's freaking out and selling because of Powell, I ask again, what's the problem? The lead speculative asset is intact. But, oh my God, we got to get rid of, dump Solana. Oh my God. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. People are looking at reality and they're making up a completely different story. They're making up a bearish story like we're still in the range or like it's going to go down any moment. Remember when I told you if you're afraid of buying the top, the market's intact? The market's intact. Everybody's afraid they bought the top. Oh my God, Jerome Powell makes the top. Guess what, people? We are detaching, decoupling, as one analyst says, from all this other stuff. Like crypto is going to detach from equities. Altcoins are going to detach from Bitcoin, right? Example, Fartcoin. Certain parts of the market are going to have a mind of its own. And the bull market is not easy, which, there's a slide about that coming. Now, I don't exactly know what this means. Institutional flows are shifting meme market dynamics. Okay. There's a statistic about Pepe, and then this guy is saying the retail distribution phase is ending, meaning, as I told you, when you list all these meme coins on centralized exchanges, whales and institutions distribute everything to retail because they can't do it because they can't get the liquidity on decentralized or teeny-weeny exchanges. So it hits Coinbase and Kraken. High school kids hit the green button because it's cute. Boom. And then the market goes down and all this stuff falls apart. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure Pepe will be okay. And I still think that the buy on the dip is probably Doge. We'll look at the chart. But be careful. Don't sell your Bitcoin to BlackRock. And if you're on centralized exchanges with established means, who is selling the meme to you? And I've said this, right? Like, there's no algorithm yet to dump Fartcoin. The algorithms are too busy buying it. You have to ask yourself these questions because it's a sector game. And crypto, it's not 2021. Like, I don't know how, I could continue to say it, but I mean, if you get in a sector rotation mentality, you're going to make a lot more money, particularly if you can get into sectors when they're down and sit and kind of like ride a much larger uptrend. Okay, so the uniparty sewer just jumped hundreds of billions of dollars, okay, on the American people with this spending bill, leaving Trump and Doge to clean up the mess. Okay, so again, what are sovereigns doing that's in your interest? Nothing. And speculative assets are leading the market. All of the reasons why you would buy crypto with both hands are still intact. Call their bluff, says the orange man, slamming pork-filled bill. So if the orange man wants to shut down the entire government, do you think that he's going to care about buying a couple $100 billion in Bitcoin? Do you think that even matters? I mean, it matters to us, but like on the cosmic scale, it's like, oh yeah, I can sign this and we'll have Web3. Okay, good. Go do it. Senator Rand Paul says they need to appoint Elon as the new Speaker of the House, which is theoretically possible. Okay. I think Elon is better left as the guy who can call a congressman and saying, we're going to have layoffs in your state or whatever if you don't change your mind about this. So he's done layoffs at Tesla. The guy's in business. The guy's ruthless. Okay. That's why, this guy is saying whatever he wants to say. Elon doesn't have to be Speaker of the House. He just has to tweet and you're done. VIX's second largest spike in history indicates a local bottom. Do you realize that the fear gauge in equities yesterday was up 75%? Like the Kool-Aid that they're drinking over there on rate cuts is so unbelievable that when Jerome Powell said exactly what he should have said, which is we're cutting rates, happy holidays, I'm out of here, the fear gauge in equities went up 75%. You got to be kidding me. Again, all algorithmic, all stupid. Speaking of stupid, California declares state of emergency over a health condition. Gas cars were banned. I don't even know if that's true. And Elizabeth Warren is complaining. And your response to this would be what? Oh, it would be the green button, of course. Because sovereigns are acting in your interest. I mean, they're literally, this is like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade of stupidity. Oh, here we have the spending bill float. Oh, we can't have gas cars. Oh, look, just monetary policy. Oh, wait. Guys that we want to vote out, like crazy leftists are upset. Really? Governments falling in Europe with people dissatisfied? It's just all going right by you. It's giving you everything you want. It's everything you want. Like everything you want. Now, again, the guy from Zero Hedge, he must watch the show. Remember when they told you that bull market's easy and that we're all just lucky? Yeah, I remember. People, listen to me. This is not easy. Like in equities, it was up only, and it was impossible for them because they kept waiting for corrections. They never got them. Like up only is hard when you don't think it should be up only. Now in crypto, of course, we think it should be up only. And of course, it won't be. You're going to have corrections. They're going to shake people out, or they'll just have it sit there and do nothing. Right? I mean, there's like a million ways to get you off the train. There is. Right? They got everybody off the train in equities because you couldn't get on the train. Bull markets sometimes don't let you in. Like bear markets don't let you out. Bull markets don't let you in. Right? A derivative of that is it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Now, I realize that's not what you've been told. I understand that. But that's why, however many people watch the show, that's why you watch the show. Now, of course, naturally, I'm a little jealous. I mean, what kind of impressions we got on this tweet? We got 6,000 people on the tweet. Man, if I could have 6,000 people on the show, whoa, smoking. Crypto may see harrowing dump after Trump's inauguration, warns Arthur Hayes. Okay, well, Arthur Hayes is a pretty smart guy, right? Now, I think that's true if Bitcoin goes to 120 or 144 in advance of the inauguration. A brief public service announcement. Everyone thought the Bitcoin ETF at 48K was sell the fact. Primarily because, the Bitcoin futures contract and the Coinbase IPO were sell the facts events before that. However, things are somewhat different now. Namely, $36 trillion in debt and a dollar that can't adjust itself in the fiat foreign exchange market. So it is entirely possible that the orange man takes his hand off the Bible at the inauguration. They sell the fact. And if that decline doesn't take the market down, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have panic market buying, which is, I mean, the bigger sell risk is that everyone takes profits in Fartcoin on January 2nd, right? Just, delays the tax event for a year. That's a bigger risk to crypto. But of course, everyone's trading that now. Everyone's like, well, there's a Solana unlock and there's going to be sell the fact at the inauguration. Are you catching the pattern here? Like the news is all bullish and everyone's head is spinning bearish. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm worrying. If you're worrying, the market goes up. Like you may have heard the saying, the market's climbed the wall of worry. It's the wall of worry. I am sure Arthur Hayes is going to hoover up everything he can. Now, he may set up a hedge in January, but what, Arthur Hayes, is it gig along and getting longer every day? Stop it. This in a way is the oldest hedge fund trick in the book, right? It's like, ooh, I'm going to put out something bearish. Meanwhile, again, it's the oldest trick in the book. Okay. Bitcoin's nosedive under 100K shaves 700 million crypto longs. Wow. $700 million of people just running for the hills. Crazy. Look at this. This is what we're writing about right before Bitcoin goes to 144, right before they build Web3, right before XRP goes to $5. I mean, seriously, the case is there. Everyone's just going to realize it's like, wow, the central banks are out of it. And if we hit the green button, we can change the world. Oh, okay. Now, how long is that going to take for people to figure out? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be today, although it could be. But when people do figure that out, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to get long when everything is up 15%? Or are you going to get long when everyone's sleeping? Not investment advice, right? Like, you get involved when everyone is sleeping. And then you do like Jerome Powell does. Like, you set up some stops, you set up some risk management, and I'll see you later. I'm done. Like, I'm going to get set, and then I'm not going to forget it, but I'm going to get set, and I'm going to let the market do what it's going to do. And if they force me out or they make me manage risk, okay. But I'm not going to sit here and talk myself out of it, right? It's like yesterday, in many ways, was Christmas. Santa handed you like, oh, okay, here's the whole thing down 5%. Like, here's a quiz. Name the last time before yesterday that Bitcoin was down 5% in one day. Can you remember? Probably not. They gave it to you down 5% with alts down 10%. They just handed it to you. And this is classic, right? I know this is off color. Sorry about being off color, but Bitcoin at 102 yesterday. Oh my God. Bitcoin at 102 today. Stupid. We are losing our mind for no reason. SUI price target at $5. You know something, folks? Want to know what the most important even number in crypto could be? It could be 110 in Bitcoin and $5 in SUI, right? In other words, that's a big deal. SUI 10x'd off the low. So, if somebody was like, well, maybe I'm going to take my money in this, I would be like, okay, okay. It rotated to something else like Solana that hasn't done anything. That's an example. But I'm not advocating getting off the train, because guess what happens if SUI prints $5.50? Oh my God, SUI has broken $5. Oh my God. Can you imagine the FOMO? Right? Can you imagine everyone getting it going? Right now, everyone's like, oh, Fartcoin's at $1 billion and I don't own it. Oh, so depressing. SUI takes out $5. Bitcoin takes out 110. ETH takes out 3,900. I mean, we can go over some of the charts. We are literally at an inflection point in this market where all it takes is one big up day. The news will change. People's minds will change. It'll be the holidays. There won't be any liquidity. This is the other thing. Powell goes home. Equities were down because everyone sells. It was like, okay, that's it. Done for the year. They've been doing this for like 10 days. Dow's down, like Dow Industrials, like grandpa stocks, down like 10 days in a row. Everybody is like, oh God, I'm so done. See you. Bye. I'm selling. I'm leaving. Now, equities, okay. I would understand that. A recession could happen. I don't blame them. But everyone wants out. Everyone's done. This is how legacy works. Like, we're all like, okay, crypto every day, every minute. Everyone legacy is leaving. There isn't going to be any liquidity. How are you going to buy the Bitcoin ETF on Christmas Eve? How are you going to do that? Equity market closes at 12. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin ETF is going to be closed, for multiple holidays in the next 15 days. You got a couple days here where, the mice can play while the cat's away. There's liquidity risk in this market. That this thing takes off in hedge funds' face when everyone thinks that they're off, they're not going to be off. Publicly traded Bitcoin miner buys 990 Bitcoin. Okay. The Galaxy Digital Research report from yesterday. All right. 20-page document by crypto rocket scientists about how Bitcoin mining can help solve electricity problems and that there is a massive value proposition for these stocks. Were we trading that yesterday? No. We were hysterical about algos reacting to a Fed chairman who couldn't get out of there fast enough. Marathon Digital buys 15,000 Bitcoin. Again, moving on, nothing to see here. Fartcoin up only. People are acting like this is a problem. Well, it's a problem when they list it on Binance because it'll get distributed like everything else. But this is a speculative asset, and speculative assets frequently lead the market. Now, it would be bad if it sucked all the capital out of the market, but XRP is up 3%. So if Fartcoin leads XRP, I'm fine with that. And so should you, right? Now, do you want to buy Fartcoin at $1 billion plus market cap? Probably not, but that's why it keeps going up, because no one wants to buy it. They call it a hated rally. I don't want to overanalyze this. Speculative assets lead the market. Okay. Is Pudgy Penguins a better shill than Fartcoin? People, Pudgy Penguins is about hodling for that company to IPO. That anyone who's holding the token or got the airdrop or whatever, anyone who's holding the token gets the IPO, or anyone who's got the NFT gets like priority on the IPO. That's it. I mean, that is the reason. I mean, if you need the $600 or whatever the Pudgy Penguins IPO drop is worth, because you need to pay your electric bill and buy your mom a Christmas present, well, then you don't need any financial advice, any trading, any research, nothing. Now, if you don't need that $500, $500 would be nice, but I'm just leaving it. Just leave it, right? Because you don't want to dump something for $500 if you don't need it. That gives you an IPO in a year and a half. Everyone's like, oh, wow, I missed Bitcoin. Oh, God, I missed NVIDIA. People, think about abundance. The market is always giving you opportunities. Don't throw away your opportunities. Don't. Okay, PowerPoint, let's go. PowerPoint's kind of making a comeback. It kind of is. There's like, monthly charts and, dollar index. Yeah, PowerPoint's coming back. A lot of people like PowerPoint. All right. Dollar index, tactical chart. So by all accounts, 108 and something should be it. It better be, because this is not healthy for crypto anymore, right? A grinding dollar is okay. An exploding dollar is, that's not good. But once again, think about algos and legacy. They're mooning the dollar on something Powell said. So apparently, Powell going, I'm not lowering rates to zero, and I need to get out of here because I need to go shopping for Christmas, right? Make my church plans, whatever I need to do. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's bearish. Oh my God, rates are going up. Oh my God, the price of eggs. Let's moon the dollar. Okay. They owe $36 trillion and they can't get a resolution. They can't pass anything intelligent. And all that's going to do is bring in Elon harder. Like this, I cannot believe they're mooning this. Like Fartcoin makes more sense than DXY to me. This with a government shutdown, I don't know, man. That's going to be a rude awakening, especially since they've blown out anyone who's tried to short it. Like the better trade is obviously been to long Bitcoin, right? But if the dollar tops out, this is where you should be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, Dogecoin. A lot of this stuff hasn't done anything, right? This is like up only right before it's about to be down only, which is very typical, right? Does it ever trade bad at a top? No. Does it ever trade good at a bottom? No. Okay, just as a reminder, the dollar index on a weekly chart, when you get a certain type of DeMark signal, 2022, 2023, 2024, you get the signal, it takes 4 to 6 weeks, and then the dollar goes lower, either dramatically or slowly. Again, government shutdown, pork spending bill, it's on tape. It's there. You don't understand this chart? Okay, you don't understand the chart. Look at the news. Orange man gets Goodfellas haircut and says, don't you dare pass this bill. Shut the government down. What do you think is going to happen to anybody on the Republican side who doesn't listen to the orange man? What do you think is going to happen? They're not going to find themselves in a good situation with the boss or the boss's buddies. That would be, Kennedy, Musk, Vivek, Tulsi. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about your future. Dollar index weekly. Just as a reminder, the dollar topped in 2017 in January. It took 6 weeks. Dollar went down for a year, and then eventually Bitcoin went full banana. Dollar starts going lower now. You give this market, it's going to be like accelerant. It's going to be like Elon's rocket ship. You give this market a dollar down move or a gold rally. Okay, so here's everyone in the equities yesterday. So everything is fine. Nothing is wrong. Rates are going to zero. I'm going to be long NVIDIA forever. It's not a problem that Warren Buffett has been selling for a year. Everything's fine. Oh, wait. Whoops. Sorry. Computer algos fritzed out. Powell's not cutting rates to zero. He's not wearing an orange suit. He doesn't have a Michael Saylor goatee. Oh, no. I have to take VIX up 75%. 75%. Now, it's way off today, but come on, people. Please. Really. Meanwhile, Bitcoin mining stocks being sold right into Lux Algo equilibrium points. So they moon it to premium and they bring it back to like a balance zone. Like they just did you a favor. Like you thought you were going to have to pay 30 for Marathon Digital, and now it looks like you're going to pay 21. You know what I'm saying? It's like they did you a favor. It's like, oh, look, they crushed this thing. Oh, look, I can go into my IRA or whatever it is, right? I mean, this is not that far off. I mean, where was this? Like right after the election, like right before the election, this was like, I don't know, around 19. Now that's a big percentage difference, but nothing has changed. Nothing. Ski mask dog. They keep slumping and they're making the square more square. They're making it better by going down. Now let's hope it stays in the square, but it's still a square, right? Everyone's looking at Fartcoin because Fartcoin's going up. No one's looking at this. This is like off the radar. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fartcoin at $1 billion. Wow, what a bargain. But Ski Mask at 200 million. Again, that's where a lot of smart money can jump into these meme coins, figuring, it's going materially higher. Like WIF and Bonk and all this other stuff has been distributed to retail. So what's going to happen when retail goes, well, I'm not doing this on Kraken or Coinbase anymore. I'm going to go do this. People are going to get wise real quick. So again, this has got YouTube sponsorship and it's still in its range and everyone's bearish. Why? ETH monthly, a very subtle change. Okay. You have resistance at 3,900 that I just realized isn't there anymore. So sometimes what the DeMark system will do, because it's quantitative, is even if the market doesn't close through the point, it'll consider the level taken out. So what does that mean? Well, that means if ETH goes back to 3,900, that resistance isn't there anymore. If it goes back up. So, okay, yeah, it looks terrible. Everybody tried to rally it and it comes off and everyone's given up. But if it turns around and goes back up, there's nothing to stop it. Bitcoin at 110, a very interesting point about this. This is a DeMark point, and it looks like people are just as wound up about 110 as they were about 100. I get this sneaking feeling that people may be more nervous now than they were at 100, because at 100 it was like, yeah, man, we're going through. Let's go. Except for the Bitcoin whales, they all took their money, and that's fine. I mean, if you were long since 2013 and you wanted to sell at 100, I guess that's okay. But everybody was like, oh, yeah, we're going to go through. But at 110, it's like, oh, my God, run for the hills. Oh, my God, VIX is up 75%. Oh, my God, I need to get out. And what's funny is they pulled up short, right? Sometimes when they pull up short, right, when it was, oh, I'm afraid of it. When they go back up there, they're like, oh, my God, they won't be afraid of it. And it blows through. Very, very common in equities, right? On the way up, they would pull up short of resistance. And then when they would like not be afraid, it just, they left no doubt. They would just go straight through. And I still think, of course, you're not hearing about it this morning. You're not hearing this morning about everybody's 200K price target for next year, right? You never hear about that on the down day, right? If you want to talk about a 200K price target, the day to talk about it is when it's down 5%. My thinking is that this thing could actually go sooner rather than later. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens if this thing just goes, okay, wow, we were all upset. There's nothing to be upset about it. And the bigger players come in and start market buying it. Because it's pretty clear they can't hit the market for more than 2 days. Everything's down 5%, and then Bitcoin's down 5%, and then Bitcoin comes back immediately. It's very clear. It seems clear to me that they're not going to get it below 100. Like there was supposedly, according to some guys that I work with on a podcast, supposedly there was $3 billion on the bid at 100K. They couldn't get it. They couldn't get what they needed. If they did, it wouldn't be at 102. Solana, I drew this morning. You had the April high, and then just like the open and closing high, like taking out the wicks. And I just said, oh, what if I draw this? I'm like, wow, look at that. Like 208. Interesting, right? Solana breaks out. Solana does a retest. Okay, maybe it's an uncomfortable retest, but why is everyone negative? Okay, look. See, this is classic, right? This is the Bitcoin ETF. So, okay, yeah, you have this signal, which is, that's toppy. Then it rushes up to the blow off top point. That's a little toppy. But then what does it do? The Bitcoin ETF comes down here, fills this gap, and sits right on this moving average. This moving average was a launch point here, here, and here, right? Notice they have to like take a poke below. Anyone down here? Any stops? No. Oh, no stops. Oh, okay. Well, we got to start buying it then. Gap, go, gap, go, gap, go, gap, go. If they can't hit it, they have to take it the other way because they have to buy it. I mean, we covered this for 3 days. Of course, the market goes down. Everybody forgets they have to buy it, right? They're selling equities. Like, look at this. Like, this is what I forgot to put in the PowerPoint. Like, this is about asset allocation. So all the macro heads are looking at Fartcoin. This is what they should be looking at. Okay. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So 20 really boring stocks. Basically, down only. Down only. For days. This is an 89-minute chart. Down only. Not just yesterday. Yesterday was just kind of like a crescendo. They've been selling grandpa stocks for 2 weeks. Where's the money going? The Bitcoin ETF. And everyone in crypto is bearish. They're allocating out of equities into Bitcoin in real time, and we're all bearish. Crazy. Crazy. Okay. Aero. When moon. Okay. I think when it comes to stuff like Aero, I think the way to do it is to not think about it as some low cap that's going to 100x in 5 minutes. I think Aero is something that you have to kind of tuck away. So you get the 5-wave top on Lux Algo, right? Which means consolidation is coming. Which, no one wants to hear that because everyone wants up only. Meanwhile, this goes down to the 38% retracement, and it does exactly what you would expect it to do in a bull market, which is go up and ebb and flow. That's pretty inconvenient if you bought the top, or that's annoying if you want it to be up only. But everybody has a meme coin trading mentality, and I understand that. But that's super bullish because it goes down, everyone sells, right into a support point. Now, if this doesn't hold, if $1.60 doesn't hold, then the worst case scenario to me is $1.17, but it looks like a giant stop fishing exercise. And this market may trade, I don't know, maybe it trades terrible for a day or two. They just continue to shake everyone out. Don't get shaken out. Manage risk. Like if you did a trade stinks, happens to everybody. You know, tax loss sell, adjust your position, put in a stop, manage risk. But don't look at the market because it's down and get bearish. There's a difference between managing risk in an individual position and quitting or getting upset because it's not up only. Everyone looks at everyone else's coin. Don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you're doing. Okay. So that is the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.